Issara, and today I'm doing a perfume tag that was created by, I think her first name is Olivia from the Simple Chic Life, and I'm sure you guys are probably watching her videos, but if you're not, I will link her down below. Also, I want to link Hanae Antoinette because she kindly tagged me in this video. She's fantastic, and she's actually one of the, she might be the only actual other reviewer that I've met in person. Yes, she is. She's the only other reviewer I've ever met in person, and she is fabulous. So definitely check her out. Again, you probably are already watching her, but if you're not, both of them will be linked down below, as well as the people that I am tagging, but I will save that for the end. So this perfume tag is basically just 10 questions about my collection or about one's collection. And in this case, some of them overlap a little bit with some other perfume tag videos that I've done before, but most of these are different. So you will see some fragrances that you see somewhat often on my channel, but you also see some that maybe you haven't heard of as much. I will list all 10 questions down in the description box, but the first question is, what was your gateway niche scent? And for me, that was Bond No. 9's The Scent of Peace, which was created by Michael Almeric. I'm not sure how you say his name, but anyway, I actually talked about this story recently when I was doing an interview with another YouTuber. If he has that posted already, I will link that interview down below so you can check it out. But if he doesn't, I don't want to spoil it, so I will wait and then I'll post on my community tab so that you're aware of when that's available. Anyway, this fragrance I still really enjoy, although I don't wear it as much as I used to. I've gone through a few bottles of this at least, but I first discovered it about probably 8-ish years ago, somewhere maybe 8 years ago. Anyway, this particular fragrance has black currant in it, which I really like. There's also some grapefruit in the opening. There's like a clean musk sort of feel to it. I think there's some cedar, some sort of a woody note in here, as well as a touch of florals. I think it might be Lily of the Valley. I can't remember exactly, but this is a beautiful scent. I could have actually included this as an answer for another one, which I'll let you know when we get to it, but this was definitely my gateway niche scent, and I didn't even realize niche existed until I first smelled this, like I said, about 8 years ago. So, Scent of Peace from Bond No. 9. The next question is, what is your significant other's favorite fragrance on you? And I'll be completely honest, that's very difficult for me to say because my significant other doesn't acknowledge fragrance. So the only one that he's noticed or at least said anything about that I can remember in recent times is Jean-Paul Gaultier's La Belle. He mentioned that that one smelled nice. So I'll go with this one. And you already probably know about this fragrance because it's gotten a lot of hype over the last year, but I do think it's a really great designer scent. It's supposed to just have notes of pear, vetiver, and vanilla. I'm sure there are other things as well, but I do think this is a really great designer release, and it comes from two of my, I'd say, more favorite perfumers, both Quentin Biche and Sonia Constant. I enjoy a lot of both of their bodies of work. So I definitely like this one as well, but that's the only one that I've ever gotten any sort of reaction to. The next question is, what is the most hyped fragrance in your collection? And I will say, if I were to go with the results from my Viewers' Choice Olfacti Awards that I just did a couple weeks ago, I'll link that somewhere, it would be Baccarat Rouge 540 because that was the winner. However, that is not the one that I personally voted for, and this is my tag video now, so now I will tell you what I picked. And the reason why I picked it is because I felt like, especially towards the latter half of 2020 going into 2021, it is probably currently the most hyped or most talked about, and that is Kilian's Angel Share. Now, I don't know if you thought you were gonna get away with watching a video from me where I didn't mention Kilian Angel Share. I'll try to quit talking about it so much, but it is very hyped right now, and I'm not helping with that. But this is a delicious, cozy, warm cognac fragrance. It has notes of like oak, vanilla, definitely some cinnamon in there. I get this sort of dried fruit vibe with a little bit of nuttiness that you would get from a lot of cognacs. So I obviously love this fragrance, and it's kind of a running joke amongst my FragCom friends that I basically bathe in this because I have used quite a bit since I've received this fragrance or since I purchased this fragrance. But yeah, it's definitely getting a lot of hype. I think it's well deserved. Not everyone's gonna agree with me, but nonetheless, a lot of people are really enjoying Kilian's Angel Share. Oh, and I almost forgot, the perfumer for Angel Share is Benoit Lapuza, I think maybe is how you say his name. I believe this was his first fragrance for Kilian, but yeah, great job, love it. The next question asks, which perfume in your collection gets the most hate? And for me, that is definitely Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. This was created by Louise Turner. I love this, which is why I have a big bottle of it, but a lot of people think it's not worth the hype. They think that it's way overpriced. I'll agree with that part, by the way. And you know, they complain that the performance is abysmal, which, you know what, it's not very good. It's not abysmal. I don't think I would use that word, but it isn't great. However, you know, I've been able to luckily get this at a discount each time. Most recently, I got it half off at the cosmetics company store. I think at a discount, especially if you can get 50% off, it is worth it. But the reason why I love it so much is because I literally have a physiological reaction to this fragrance. My mouth waters every time I smell that opening because it is this like boozy cherry opening with this punch of bitter almond. There's like a little bit of tonka, Peru balsam, some vanilla in there to add some sweetness, but wow, this is just a juicy cherry fragrance. I love it. Like I said, and it's fantastic. I do recommend trying out this in combination with Baccarat Rouge 540. Those are both expensive fragrances, so that's an expensive combo, but that does help increase the longevity. However, even on its own, I will gladly spray this all over me. It smells amazing. The next question asks, what is your favorite bedtime scent? And although I have a few that I tend to use at night pretty consistently, my favorite of those is probably Christian Dior's Feve Delicieuse. Now, this was created by Francois Demaki. I'm not sure how you say his last name again, so sorry. But this actually translates into delicious bean, referring to the tonka bean, which is the main note in this particular fragrance. I also get some vanilla, caramel, praline-y kind of thing going on. Maybe a slight touch of cacao in there, but honestly, it is mostly just the tonka. And so in the opening, it is more spicy, but like I'll spray this on as I'm getting ready for bed. And by the time I actually get into bed, it's definitely calmed down and become a little bit more on the powdery side, not super powdery, but a little bit more on the powdery side. And some of that vanilla comes out to kind of just like, you know, tone it down, make it really warm and cozy. So I love this one for bedtime. As you can see, I have a massive bottle of it. And even though there's a lot gone, that will still take me forever to get through the rest of that. So again, that's Christian Dior's Feve Delicieuse. Next up is, what is your best new fragrance? So it's not just like your newest fragrance, but the one that you like the most of those. And although I kind of get perfumes kind of frequently off and on, I tried to narrow it down just basically to maybe like the last few weeks, so kind of since Christmas. And the one that I've chosen is one I actually talked about in Carlos's collab video from Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. I'll try to link that below. But this is one that I love on me, but I also think would be very sexy on a man. And it is Prada's Desert Serenade from their Olfactories collection. I actually wasn't really familiar with this particular kind of high-end line from Prada previously, but there are a few others from this collection that I'm interested in trying out. This one is a honeyed leather kind of fragrance. So if you don't like leather, I would think you might still like this potentially, but you definitely would want to sample it first because it definitely does have a leather note in here. There's also some cumin and saffron, as well as I think a little bit of cypress and definitely some musk in the dry down. But this is very unique, at least to me. There are a few fragrances that it reminds me of, but as a whole, it doesn't smell exactly like anything I've smelled before. And this was created by none other than Daniela Andrier, or Andre, I'm not sure how you say her last name, but she's done a lot of fragrances that I really like. She also did Infusion d'Iris from Prada. So yeah, definitely check out her work because that's another perfumer that I definitely enjoy a lot of the fragrances that she's created. The next question is, what is your most worn fragrance of all time? And this one was actually pretty hard because there are several fragrances that I've worn kind of as signature scents for at least, you know, a few years. So like right away I thought of Bond No. 9 Scent of Peace that I already talked about. Mugler Alien, definitely one that I've worn a ton of. Also Emporio Armani She, which they actually just brought back. It was discontinued, but they just released it again. However, with all that said, I've decided that I would go with this one, partially because I probably did wear this more than at least one or two of those, but also because this is very inexpensive now. So if you're looking for a cheapie that at least I think still smells good, I would recommend this. And it is called Mori from Mori. I think a lot of people refer to this as Mori Butterfly, but that's just because there are butterflies on the box. The official name of this is just Mori. And I have the Parfum concentration. I think the EDP is great too. That's what I used to wear a lot of. However, the EDT does differ a little bit. So I would personally just recommend either the EDP or the Parfum. But either way, you can get a bottle, I think now for like $25-ish if you go to like Fragrance Net, Fragrance X, places like that. So definitely not gonna break the bank with this one. This was created by Bernard Elena, and it has notes of berries like strawberry, blackberry, probably other kinds of berries as well. There's also black currant in here for sure. I can definitely pick that up, as well as some like sandalwood or some sort of woodiness. And I also get touches of almond in here and ylang ylang. So if those notes sound good to you, I think this is a nice like fruity, floral, woody fragrance that, you know, it came out in the 90s. So perhaps for a younger person, this would seem a little dated, but for me, because I wore this predominantly like from about age 19-ish through 23, 24, it doesn't seem that dated because I know I'm a lot older than that now, but I don't feel a lot older than that. So I don't know. Anyway, that's Anna Mori. I think it's great and I have worn it a lot. Next up is your most complimented fragrance, and for me, there are a couple I've already mentioned that would definitely fall in this category. Bond No. 9 Scent of Peace and Anna Mori that I just talked about both have gotten me a lot of compliments over the years, but I also have worn them as signature scents, so there are more opportunities for compliments. However, I've decided to introduce a new fragrance that I haven't talked about yet today, and that is Xerjoff's Dama Bianca. This is from their Casamorati line. I unfortunately don't know who the perfumer for this was, but this is a beautiful fragrance, as the name might suggest, Dama Bianca, like white lady or lady in white. I definitely get a lot of vanilla in this with some kumquat. I think there's like iris or floral kinds of notes in here, as well as a touch of ambrette. And the dry down has this sort of woody, musky quality that I really enjoy, but as a whole, I think I would classify this primarily as a sort of fruity, floral, vanilla fragrance. It's a very pretty fragrance, and I don't wear like pretty fragrances very often, but this is one of the few that I do enjoy. Typically these kind of go too girly for me, but I get a lot of compliments from this. I think it's a great fragrance. As you probably know, I enjoy a lot of Xerjoff fragrances, and this is definitely one of them. All right, so we just have a couple questions left, but the next one up is, what is your most surprising fragrance? And this is one that I kind of waffled on what to pick because I was thinking maybe a Lush scent, since those have kind of taken me off guard previously. But again, to kind of talk about something different, I thought I would bring up this one, which definitely did surprise me, and that is BDK's Wood Jasmin. Now, this is definitely a fully unisex fragrance, and I think it's very addictive. I think it's somewhat sexy, but the reason why I was so surprised by it is, first of all, I was surprised I even liked it because, as you may or may not know, I'm a little picky when it comes to jasmine. Sometimes it smells like halitosis to me, which I'm not trying to smell like halitosis, but also because it doesn't actually smell that much like jasmine at all to me, or woody. Actually, it smells primarily like plum to me. I also get like an incensey labdanum kind of thing going on. I think there could be a touch of maybe patchouli in here, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm sure there is jasmine in here as well, but it also has kind of this sweet quality, so it's possible that there's some vanilla in this. I honestly can't tell you 100% exactly what kind of notes are in here, but it does smell like plum to me. So that is definitely in here. I really, really like this one, and I know that a lot of people like Plum Japonais from Tom Ford, which I also really enjoy. That's sadly discontinued. I'm not going to say this smells just like it because it doesn't, but if you're looking for another plum fragrance, I think this would be a good one to check out, and I think most people probably wouldn't even think about this because it doesn't say anything about plum. It says wood jasmine, both of which are not predominant at all, and I pretty much don't pick up. So that definitely surprised me because of the name and the fact that I liked something with the name Jasmine in it. Oh, and once again, I almost forgot the perfumer. This was created by Camille Leguay. Last up is your favorite fragrance of all time, and that's like a very loaded question and it's probably going to change again before too long. I definitely considered putting Guerlain's Spiritus de Blavanie here, but I decided to go with the one that truly is my favorite at the moment, and definitely one of my favorites of all time, if not my favorite of all time. I can't really say what that is, but for today, we're gonna go with Dusita Issara, which you probably have heard me talk about before. It is what I would consider a signature scent for me if I were to wear a signature scent, which I don't because I have a lot of fragrances and I rotate through. But I love this sort of combination of notes here. It's tonka, vetiver, oak moss. There's a little bit of a pine needle sort of quality to it, as well as I think some musk and ambergris. But this is just a gorgeous fragrance. I think it is a masterpiece. I know not everybody's going to agree with that, but I really do. I think it's worth the money. It's very expensive. I think that a lot of fragrances that Issara has created, which by the way, she's the perfumer. She's the owner of the house and the perfumer. Her name is Issara, is it Uma Vijani? I can't remember exactly how you say her last name, but I think she's created a lot of fantastic, like really amazing high quality fragrances. They're not cheap, but if you haven't checked out Dusita, they do have a discovery set on their website, and I think you get like a 40 euro voucher with it, which is probably about the cost. Maybe it's not quite the full cost, but it covers most of it. And the samples are nice. I've had all of them and they're like 2 ml spray samples. So like honestly, a 2 ml spray sample of this would actually be quite pricey if you break it down per ml. So I think that's a great deal. Anyway, Issara's not paying me to say this. She's very lovely, and occasionally I've like commented and had an interaction with her, but I haven't really talked to her much. I just really love her work, and especially I love Issara. So this for today is going to be my answer to my favorite all-time fragrance. All right, so that is the perfume tag that was created by the Simple Chic Life. Now I need to tag some people, so hopefully none of these people have done this video yet. I don't think they have, but my memory sometimes fails me. I'm gonna tag Anna Absolute. She's been starting to create videos more often again, which is fantastic. She's hilarious. I'm also going to tag Phoenix. She has a great new channel. I think she also goes by Charlie sometimes, so that might be easier to say. But she has a great, fairly new channel, so definitely check her out, and of course Anna. And the third person I'm going to tag is Lizzie from Rose & Jones, who has the most beautiful, relaxing voice in all of Fratcom. So if you haven't watched her videos before, also please check her out. I will link her channel down below. So that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget I have a Lush giveaway in my previous video, so go back and check that out if you haven't already and enter to win. But otherwise, I hope you all have a great day. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.